All right, what's up, ladies and gents, boys and girls? How's it going? Hi, it's me. I'm just here out vibing. So I already tried to film this video once and it was just terrible in every way. So I'm back. Cheers. I made this green smoothie. It's a matcha, mango, banana, and like a little spinach. And gotta say, it's pretty bad, but I'm still gonna drink it because I made it and I spent a lot of time on it. So I was looking at my calendar the other day, as I do every week religiously, and I realized that school is actually starting kind of soon. And I have mixed feelings about this because on the one hand, I feel like this summer is like the summer from hell and everyone kind of just like doesn't know what they're doing and we're just like all sitting here and like just sort of existing in this space-time continuum and like, but on the other hand, fall semester is also gonna be just as weird and I'm not ready for that mental stimulation. Like, I have not been challenging myself intellectually, so I'm a little bit scared, but I'm also a little bit excited. I feel like that sounds like better than it actually is. Whatever. Point is, college is starting soon. I was meaning to make one of these like freshman year advice videos, so I thought now would be the time to do it. Just before we start, I know that there are some freshmen out there that won't be able to attend in-person classes in the fall. MIT freshmen are among those freshmen. And I think that really sucks. Hopefully you can still take away something from this video, but also just know that your time will come. I know I'm just a rising sophomore, but I feel like the transition from high school to college is such a big one and you're in such like different stages of life at that point that, you know, you learn a lot. And I think I've learned a lot and it's stuff that is worth sharing. So without further ado, let's get started. You've gotten to campus, you're going through orientation, all that jazz. How do you make friends? This is a big one because one of the very hard things about going to college is that you have to, you know, leave all your friends behind. You have to suddenly make a bunch of new friends, you're surrounded by a bunch of new people, and that can be difficult, especially if you're not the most extroverted person. I think for me it was especially hard because I wasn't part of a sports team or like a different organization. I was also not part of a sorority because MIT does fall rush, so like a lot of my friends made friends through their sorority, but I did not have that avenue of connecting with people. But one thing that I did find to be very helpful when I was trying to make friends and meet new people without being like super awkward or like really anxious and nervous was to have a friend-making buddy of sorts. This is a person, it could be someone you met on Facebook, it could be someone you've stalked on Instagram, it could be your roommate, anyone you like kind of already know when you get to campus. Imagine these two scenarios. Scenario one, you approach a group alone and now you have to like try to insert yourself into the conversation without being awkward. That's terrifying. If I do say so myself, I would not be comfortable in that situation. And then it always ends up being like you're just sitting there pretending to swipe through your homepage. Now imagine this. Okay, ready? You approach a big group of people, right? But now you're approaching with your friend-making buddy. You come up like, yo, what's up? Look at us. We're already friends. Like, what are you guys doing? We've already gotten our shit figured out. We have each other. Who do you have? No one. That's exaggerating a little bit, but point is, if you feel like you can't really insert yourself into their conversation, you can at least like converse with your friend over here. With that being said though, and the whole thing about like friend making groups or whatever, it's also a great idea to join clubs and organizations. Ultimately, you're gonna wanna find some type of community, right? At MIT, we call it our home under the dome because we're weird like that. And if you're not doing like sports, because that's like a very obvious one, the next best thing is to join clubs and organizations because you can meet a bunch of people, you'll be affiliated through this one club, and it's a great way to base your circles off of that thing. Yeah, friend making buddy, join clubs. That's basically it. Okay, so now you've gotten through orientation, you've made a bunch of friends, you're golden. Now it's time to sign up for some classes. I know a bunch of schools do registration like in the summer. Anyway, regardless, when it comes time for you to register for your classes, do your freaking research. Do your research on how classes work, what are common classes for freshmen to take. Make sure you have a general idea of like what classes you are gonna have to take at some point, what classes you might want to take with other people. I'm not saying you have to have like your whole 4-year plan figured out, but it's good to have some idea of like what direction you want to go in. I got pretty lucky because I ended up registering for classes with a bunch of other different people, so I kind of got a good idea of like what most people were taking. I ended up taking a very basic freshman fall like schedule, which I liked because that meant that for every class I was in, I had friends who were also in that class, so we could all like work together and help each other. Because if I was in classes alone, I would have dropped out because I would have failed them all. And I know the like intro classes may not seem that appealing because they're like ginormous and like basic, but like once school starts and everyone's like really busy, one of the main ways you'll be connecting with people is through like doing work together or like asking people about work. Bond with your class, take some classes with the freshman class, and you can make friends and have an easy class and it'll be great. Okay, and now once you have registered for classes, you've gotten all your classes, you're like good to go. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. Do not just go out and buy the freaking textbook, okay? I know everyone says this. Everyone's like, don't buy textbooks, buy like secondhand books or whatever. But like, okay, hear me out. Think about how much information you can find online. How much data is being put onto the internet per second, statistically. Your textbook is on the internet somewhere. You're not gonna wanna spend all that money, believe me. Yeah, I did not buy a single textbook. We all just had PDFs of it. Or you could ask upperclassmen if they have the textbook, ask your friends if their upperclassmen friends have the textbook. And if you have to, if you really have to, buy it secondhand off someone else because that's gonna be a lot cheaper. But I'm telling you, you can find it online. The one book I ever bought was like an actual book that we had for one of my English classes. I looked for it online like a little bit, but I ended up just buying the ebook for like 20 bucks. I don't know why it was so expensive, but literally the day after I bought it, my friend who was in class with me was like, yeah, I found the PDF online. And I was like, fuck, god damn it. Anyway, yeah, don't buy the books. Don't buy textbooks. Okay, moving on. Okay, so this is something specific to freshmen who are going to be on campus or freshmen who are like just like moving out of their homes in general. College is a great time to make new habits. You know that thing about how like your brain and like your habits that reside in your brain are tied to your environment? For example, like when soldiers at the Vietnam War got addicted to heroin and they came back and they got unaddicted real quick because their environment was totally different. Or how like when drug addicts come back from rehab, they have a really hard time staying clean because they're back in their old environment where they used to do drugs, like that kind of thing. When you move out and you're in a new environment, it is so easy to make new habits, and I highly encourage you to do so because you can really like amp up the productivity in your life like super fast. It's just a great opportunity to like instill new habits that you've always wanted but were like maybe too hard when you were at home. Some of the habits that I developed when I got to college were actually sitting down and doing work. That was a new one for me. Like when I was in high school, it would take me so much willpower to actually do my homework, and I don't know why. But when I was at college, literally I could just sit down anywhere, start working. It was like so easy. Another thing I did was I made my bed every morning. I literally never did that. I had never had the habit of making my bed in the morning. Like that was never something I did regularly like ever in my life. But once I got to college, I started making my bed every day, which is kind of crazy. Oh, another big one was I actually, you know, would take my clothes and I would put them away instead of like on the floor or on the bed or on a chair. That was pretty big. And the last one was watching less YouTube and Netflix. Yeah, like I used to watch like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of YouTube when I was at home. And then when I was at college, it was like maybe 2 hours a week, like I swear. Wow, I was just a lot better in college, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, make new habits. It's a great time, a great idea. Okay, and the next thing I want to talk about is majors. I know for some schools, you kind of go into school already having declared a major. I'm going to talk for people who are not like that, who don't know what they want to major in or come in undecided. Like I know that there are some people who go to college already knowing what they want to do. They've had this plan since they were like 12 that they're going to do this, they're going to major in this, they're going to go into this job. And that works for some people, and that's great. Like honestly, good for you. You have your life together. I'm proud of you. I am not one of those people, and I know a lot of people who aren't like that. But I just want to say that like if you are undecided, if you have no idea what you want to do, That is totally okay. Like, it's totally fine. Going back to something I mentioned in another video, I remember someone was talking to us during orientation and they said like only 40% of MIT graduates end up in a career related to their major. And I was like, what? Just don't worry, because like when I was in high school, I worried so much about what I was gonna major in, what my career was gonna be. I was like having panic attacks because I was like, I'm not passionate about anything. I'm never gonna enjoy my career. I'm never gonna have a good life because I just don't know what I wanna major in. That was a dumb thought. Me, I was dumb. First of all, you have time. You can always change your major. Like the other day, my friend texted me and she was like, I kind of want to switch my major to business. And then all my other friends roasted her, but I was like, yeah, go for it. Like, do what you want to do. Like, make that coin if you want to make that coin. Actually, that being said, do not just major in something because your friend's majoring in it or like you want to make a lot of money. Don't major in like those things if you genuinely like do not like the classes in that major. You're just gonna have a horrible time. You're probably not gonna get very good grades if you don't like your classes. Again, you can major in one thing and then go into a different field where you make more money. But yeah, majors, overrated. Majors are overrated. Cancel majors 2020. Just kidding. I didn't mean that. But yeah, don't freak out about your major. But if you have it planned, good for you. Okay, and now moving on to your dorm/living situation. I know a lot of people have said this, but I just want to reiterate that you do not have to be best friends with your roommate. You do not even have to be bad friends with your roommate. Like, you don't need to be friends, period. What is good and what you should maybe work towards is having like a good living relationship with them, but you really don't have to like be in the same social circles. Also, something that I think I can speak towards is if you're an incoming freshman, this is probably way too late for you and I'm sorry about that, but for anyone in high school who is going to go to college in the future, and you have a choice of doing random roommate versus a roommate you choose, which one's better? I ended up having one roommate who I chose and one roommate who was put with us randomly, and I loved both of them. I think one thing that can be dangerous about choosing someone you live with is if you end up not vibing with that person as well as you had hoped, it can be really disappointing because you've kind of already tried to establish this connection and you like chose this person out of everyone else. You like chose them and they ended up like not being who you wanted to be. That can be like pretty disappointing. Also, a random roommate is much more likely to share your preference of like sleeping times and living habits because they try to like algorithmically put you two together. Both bring benefits to the table. And the last thing I want to talk about is upperclassmen are your best resources, like period. You can do all the online research you want. I could talk to you all I want. Ultimately, the only person who knows what situation you're in is upperclassmen. They've been at your school, they've been taking your classes, they've been living in your dorms, they know your situation unlike anyone. Utilize them. Also, they're great friends. It's like a 2-in-1. You can have like a friend and like basically an advisor. I cannot stress this enough. If I were not friends with upperclassmen and they had not told me what to do and what to expect, I would be dead, literally like dead in a hole. I would have dropped out. I would not have survived. I would be a disgrace to my family, all that good stuff. Literally like utilize upperclassmen are your best friends. Don't fight me on this, they're your best friends. So yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to your fellow upperclassmen. And the last thing I want to emphasize is, you know, college is college, have fun, but also be safe. You're not in the clear yet at all. Not even close. And remember, if you want even a semblance of a normal spring semester, you need to stay safe during fall and do your best to, you know, follow guidelines. I'm not gonna say like, don't let the pandemic get you down, because obviously it's not gonna be the same, and that's very disappointing for a lot of people, but you can still have fun anyway. As always, peace out.